Welcome back, everybody, to our next edition here of our virtual learning series, Leaders Online. Really excited about today. Really excited everybody could join us here. So want to talk a little bit about, again, going back to workforce and the challenges that some of you folks are seeing when it comes to unemployment or layoffs, things like that. And then, other opportunities that are out there for jobs and companies that are hiring, and how maybe to align any employees you've had to lay off or furlough to some other opportunities, whether that be full-time or temporary. And so today we have Steven Gonzalez back from, he's from Workforce Solutions at Tarrant County. He joined us last week and gave us some updates there, and he's going to do the same with that. And then we have Steve Peglar from WhitneySmith Company, who's an HR consultant. So really excited about this. So with that, I'll turn it over to Steven and Steve to talk about who they are, what they're seeing, some of the best practices in FAQ. And as always, if you have any questions, go ahead and send those to us via the Facebook, and we will ask them when we get to the Q&A session. So, Stephen, why don't you start off for us?
All right. Thanks for having me once again. And just to give a quick introduction on who we are, I won't give the big spiel, but in short, what we do at Workforce Solutions for Tarrant County is assist the residents with training, anything that they need to obtain employment in a career pathway of their choice. On the other end, what we do is provide services to employers to help them find well-trained and qualified individuals for their organization. All of our services are free, but as you know right now, with everything that is going on, we are extremely busy. We work under the direction of the Texas Workforce Commission, and I'm sure everyone has heard all of the things going on with that, with overloaded phone, web, infrastructure within, but we're working to get everything fixed and to provide the support that everyone needs. So especially during this rough time, we are really trying to look at recovery efforts because they're going to be vital during this process, and then we're looking at overcoming it. So we appreciate what all of the employers are doing right now during this unprecedented time.
Great. From an employment standpoint, on your website, there's a link on your website to employers who are hiring right now. Can you speak a little bit to that? Who are some of those companies? Do they apply directly through you, or is that, do they need to get connected directly to the company?
Yes. So on our website, we created, once all of this started happening, what we did was create a new, we unveiled a new website because ours crashed as well. And what we did was work to create a new tab, if you will, titled Jobs Now 2020. And what it is it's an up-to-date, information on job postings from companies. Most of them are essential companies that are looking to hire right now. And so the connection is we have some of them posted on Work in Texas that you can go online and apply. Some of them have the links right next to them, and some of them have points of contact of who to reach in order to try to apply for the position. So it's all listed on the website. We are updating it daily. I think we've added jobs from employers who are hiring on a daily basis. So we welcome all of the job seekers and those folks who are laid off to visit the website, take a look at the jobs that are posted there. And we're working in partnership with the Fort Worth Chamber, area economic development partners within Tarrant County. And so it's up-to-date information. Please feel free to take a look.
Great. And I will say that there's a link from the Chamber's website directly to that job portal there as well. So if you go to the forwardchamber.com, click on the coronavirus page or COVID-19 page, there's obviously a bunch of resources there, but you'll see right there at the top, there's a link to get to that page as well. So Steve, we'll flip it over to you, learn a little bit about what you guys are working on, what you're hearing from your clients. What are some best practices that you guys are giving?
Great. Chris, thanks for having me. I'm Steve Peglar with the WhitneySmith Company. We are a Fort Worth-based human resources consulting firm. We just celebrated our 30th year in business. I've been there a little over 20 years myself, but we provide strategic and tactical HR services to clients in every industry I can think of. That includes employee relations, internal investigations, policy development, compensation services, comp plan design and development, recruiting and search, expert witness testimony, goes on from there. So we do a lot, and we are very busy right now. Our workload has, seems like it's really increased lately. What are we seeing right now? We're helping clients with a wide range of issues. We are, one of the biggest things we've been doing lately is advising clients on the HR compliance responsibilities with the new FFCRA legislation and the laws that have spun off of that relating to emergency sick leave provisions, Family Medical Leave Act extension. So we're working with clients a lot on those issues. A lot of also just kind of the logistical issues of dealing with employees in this crazy time right now. Everything from, walking through scenarios of potential exposure in the workplace to COVID-19. How do you handle that? Most of it obviously is case by case. We're also dealing quite a bit with, unfortunately, layoffs and furlough situations with clients too. So we're seeing a wide range of issues with clients and really busy or never right now with that kind of thing.
Mm-hmm. So I'm wondering if a company is kind of getting to that point, what's the difference between layoffs versus furlough, or if a company wants to have their employees be able to come back after this time? What are the different options that they have?
Well, in terms of furloughs versus layoffs, it's really, in the state of Texas, pretty much a matter of the term you want to use, because it's pretty much the same in Texas. We're an at-will employment state, so there's not much of a difference. Furloughs, the term furloughs are typically heard, for instance, a lot of times in union environments where there's a work slowdown or stoppage, and you're expecting to bring employees back. In Texas, we can use that term. It really is sort of a version of a potentially long-term leave of absence, where you've got people working vastly reduced hours or no hours while they're technically on a furlough. And a layoff, people are essentially terminated from employment. And along with that comes a lot of, everything that comes along with a regular termination. There's a lot that goes into deciding, how you want to approach something like this. As far as a layoff, in normal times, if you can remember those, when there was a layoff situation, there were a lot of things that you needed to be concerned with. You needed to figure out in a non-discriminatory way how you pick a group of employees that are going to be affected, based on everything from seniority to performance to all kinds of other factors there, skills-based considerations, that kind of thing. So really, as far as handling a layoff, not much has changed from normal times to now. And there's a lot to be careful with, but everything's just accelerated so much, and there's so much to be concerned with all of a sudden. So it comes down to kind of a case-by-case basis. So we've been spending a lot of time on that.
Right.
Could I add a little bit to that? Yeah. So from the state perspective, with TWC, as far as unemployment goes, with the furlough and how they work, it's if an employee is at no fault and they are no longer performing services for pay, they can receive a payment for unemployment. So I just wanted to cover that. But to add a little bit of kind of a solution of what the state is trying or has come up with is the shared work program, or the shared workforce program. And what that is it provides the best income replacement designed for companies that have 10 or more employees that have the same reduction of hours from work. They can still file for the employees can still file for unemployment and continue to work based off of a percentage, but normally and they will receive normally half of what their earnings are. So I just wanted to share that. It's a really good program, and I encourage companies or employers who are looking for some relief. The shared work program could help you go a long way. Along with that, if you say you take advantage of the shared work program, another option for you after you take advantage of that is there's the tax breaks that will follow for keeping or retaining your employees on the back end. So, and those are all details that will come out in future legislation. There's a fourth bill that they're beginning work on, and it has a lot of workforce initiatives in it. And so we're excited to see what comes along with that. But I know right now everyone is still kind of trying to hash out the third one that was approved on Friday.
Sure. Steven, we'll stay with you. We have a question here about the Texas Workforce Commission. So is there anything being done to reduce the backlog on the benefits? Are they trying to increase capacity or increase workforce to increase their bandwidth?
Yeah, so they are, and I will, I was on a call earlier today with, or a webinar with Commissioner Demerson, who is the TWC commissioner regarding employers. And I will quote him as I was preparing for today's session. Let me pull this up. Give me just a moment. Sorry, you guys. So they are, the question was asked, how is the problem of getting through to TWC getting solved, and what is the timeline? And his answer was they have currently increased the broadband, they increased staff, they've increased the hours of staff, and additional days. So they're doing everything that they can to try to assist the public, whether you're a job seeker or an employer. And they are pulling in some of the staff from the state staff from some of the workforce boards across Texas. So they're doing everything they can. He did reiterate, and I know it's come from the executive director of TWC at Cerna. I mean, everyone is just, please be patient. I know it's tough, but they appreciate you being patient. They're on the website. There are hours to best get a hold of them. And on the website, it states from anywhere from 10 p.m. to 8 a.m. is the best time to reach out to them. And now that the extra day on Saturday is available, Saturdays might be a good opportunity to reach out. But you can do that via the telephone number located on their website, or on their website, or on the website itself.
Right. And I'll add to that as well, because I did get an email yesterday of a job posting from the Texas Workforce Commission for their Fort Worth office. And they're stating, to Steven's point, they're just overloaded with calls. And so they're looking to add people into their call center. So for the potential job seekers out there, that's another opportunity that's available there.
A plug real quick is that vacancy is on our Jobs Now page on our website. So if you want to apply and assist folks, I mean, they're receiving the commissioner said this morning, 1.7 million calls a day, which is unprecedented. So if you want to help, there's a great way to help, a possible opportunity to get on with as a state employee with the Texas Workforce Commission. The link is on our website on Jobs Now 2020.
Great.
Shameless plug.
Yeah, well, absolutely. Well, that's what we're here for. So got another question here, more of a technical question. So I am self-employed and filed a claim, but it shows I have $0 available. $0 available. Do I need to send in my income? Don't get a check from this person's personal business. How does that work?
So they are still hashing out the details of the CARE Act, which is where self-employed or contracted workers can apply for those benefits. The advice that we were given was they are taking action to implement the new law, and they're working with the Department of Labor to implement the act while continuing to work tirelessly to process those unemployment insurance claims. So as soon as all of that is hashed out, they will be working, and hopefully it's any day now. It could be tomorrow. Hopefully by Monday, they can have all of the details with the CARES Act hashed out to where those self-employed people can receive their benefits.
Great.
Does that answer your question?
I believe so.
Okay.
I hope that answered the person who sent that question in. Now, it's interesting, and I haven't made light of this before, but being live like this and everybody watching, it's so interactive because I'm getting text messages from watching us, saying, put on a happy face, or stop touching yourself, or stop touching your face, and things like that. So it's great. So
now, let me, if I could just quickly clarify. I mean, the Workforce Board for Tarrant County, what we're doing is just trying to provide some relief and some support. We're not the TWC experts. We are more on the solution side of helping businesses and job seekers with whatever we can come up with to assist through our menu of services. The reason I'm giving this information is because it's fresh. I wanted to at least answer some questions for people who have been trying to get through on the lines or through email or whatever it is with TWC. And so I just wanted to make sure that, all of the information I'm providing is fresh. It's from either the commissioner's office or the TWC website, and you can find everything that I'm saying on the website as well. So I just want to clarify that. I know there's some confusion where some folks might think that we are, the Workforce Solutions for Tarrant County office is TWC, but in fact we are not.
Yeah. So, Steve, I know that we've had this partnership with the Fort Worth HR group, and I believe you're a part of that as well. And a lot of questions coming in through that. Have you guys seen any interesting questions or comments, or how's the Fort Worth HR community approaching all of this?
The Fort Worth HR community is really a pretty tight-knit group. I keep in touch with folks in my industry here locally pretty closely, and we bounce things off each other. And it's a great Fort Worth resource. Absolutely.
Great. And that's on our webpage as well as the Fort Worth HR webpage, where if you do have a specific question, feel free to email that into them, and they have a panelist of HR professionals that are going to be answering those questions for you. And I know that we've already had several, dozens of questions come through that group. So that's a great resource as well. And you can get that through our resource page on the Chamber website. A couple more questions that just came in here. Will the elderly on Social Security qualify for the stimulus program?
That's a good question. It's not one that I will say I don't know the answer to right now.
Sure.
If we can definitely look into that. I encourage anyone who has a question that we can't answer at the moment to shoot an email to info@workforcesolutions.net, and we can look to provide an answer for you. I think I've received 2 emails. I don't know if they're from anyone on online right now who's watching, but it seems to be from a couple of job seekers. So thank you for reaching out. We will do what we can to answer those questions if we can't answer them right now.
Great. Great. Well, that's all the questions we have today. And obviously, we'll still be available through the Fort Worth HR website and through Workforce Solutions. You can always contact the chamber with your questions, and we'll do our best to find the answers for you. Steve, anything to finish up on?
One thing that I failed to add at the beginning in an answer to one of your questions, another thing that we have been getting a lot of questions about, or a good number of questions from clients, is about the possibility of implementing pay cuts in order to prevent layoffs and prevent having to lose great people that you've worked hard to recruit and get on board anyway. Pay cuts, you have the ability as an employer to implement pay cuts. There's some legal aspects to it. You got to be careful about and keeping people, if it's an exempt employee, not dropping them below the $684 per week that they need to earn to keep the Fair Labor Standards Act exemption. But other than that, there's a lot of freedom there. And if it means retaining really good people, even though you're cutting their pay, that may be an option for you as an employer. And we're seeing it happen. We're hearing a lot about it already. So just want to throw that out there as well.
One thing I would like to, just to put things into perspective, I'd like to give everyone who's listening some updated data as far as unemployment goes. And this is current as of yesterday, late afternoon. On March 15th, there were just over 16,000 people filing for unemployment in Tarrant County. As of the 29th of March, that number went up to just over 51,000 people who have filed unemployment. So that's a 84.6% increase in the amount of unemployment. I'm just throwing it out there just so everyone, I mean, you might be seeing stuff on social media, stuff on the news, but those are for Tarrant County actual numbers. Another question that we've been getting is in regards to childcare. So for the employers and companies that are listening, and you have employees who are utilizing our childcare system, just some quick updates in regards to that is if they're taking their children to any of our daycare centers that we are helping provide support, you don't have to swipe in anymore. If you're you can keep your children home without any penalty. There's no need to pay. If you're utilizing our childcare system and we're providing the service and paying for the bill, you don't have to worry about that. We will cover the remaining balance effective April 1st. So that is something important. Really, we just want to put people at ease. There's going to be more information on this coming out. There's a proposal that was sent up to Washington, D.C. last week, and just waiting on an answer. But as of yesterday, there was 7,558 slots available for childcare. So just something I wanted to throw out there for people who are utilizing that, who need it, for essential workers who are needing childcare with their children out of school or whatnot. Those are just, and you can go to our website, Workforce Solutions, and you can look up more information on childcare. I just wanted to make sure. One last thing, mass claims. So one of the reasons why the phones are tied up is because there's not clarification. So if you're a company or employer that's laying off more than 10 people, it would do the whole system a great deal of good if you could go on and file a mass claim on behalf of your employees. If you file that, the employees don't have to do anything but wait for their payment to come in. So that would easily bog down a lot of phone calls to the state if you're able just to take care of your employees and file the mass claim on their behalf. So some information. I wanted to give some updates, and hopefully it's useful for anyone who's listening.
Great. Well, fantastic. Well, I'll reiterate again, go to the Forward Chambers website, go to our resource page, lots of information, go to the Tarrant County, the Workforce Solutions of Tarrant County website, more information there. Obviously the Forward HR group and what they're doing. So lots of resources out there, lots of ability to get questions answered. So don't be strangers, feel free to reach out and ask the questions, and hopefully we can give you some advice and best practice and information on your questions. So thanks again, everybody, for joining us here today. Thanks, Steven. Thanks, Steve, for giving us your insight on this subject. We look forward to seeing you all again tomorrow. We have a great session lined up where we're going to be talking about the new norm and marketing and your office and operating in this time of shelter in place, and how to function and how to market to your clients and how to communicate with your staff. So a great session tomorrow as well. So we hope you all join us tomorrow. Again, thanks everybody, and have a great rest of the day.
Thank you.
Thank you.